What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So we got some shocking breaking boxing news. As British superstar title contender, Conor Benn, who has 24 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 14 wins by way of knockout, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach at 29 years of age, has turned down. Now, coming off of the biggest win of his career in the family feud and family rivalry, he's now 1-1 against his father's Nigel Benn, who is a British legend and a Hall of Famer. His rival, Chris Eubanks Sr., right? They fought 1-win senior and a draw. So now Conor Benn fought Chris Eubanks Jr. He initially lost the first fight, okay? That took place in April of 2025. Then they had the rematch, November 15th, last week. And Chris Eubanks loses badly. Conor Benn dominates Chris Eubanks, drops him twice in the 12th round, nearly stops him, wins dominant. Biggest win of his career, right? Now, he gets offered the opportunity of a lifetime. He gets offered to fight the #1 pound for pound king, the first ballot Hall of Famer, the 5-division world champion, 3-division undisputed world champion, reigning undisputed super middleweight, Terence Bud Crawford, who is now 42 wins, no loss, no draw, 31 wins by way of knockout. Chris Eubanks gets offered the opportunity to fight Terence Crawford. And he turns it down. Conor Benn. Conor Benn gets offered and he turns it down. He shoots it down. He says, not interested in competing at 160 and not interested in fighting Terence Crawford at 68. I'm focused on 147, the welterweight division, and becoming a world champion. What? You get the opportunity to fight the pound for pound king? He says if Terence Crawford comes down to 154, I might entertain it. He wants no problems with Terence Bud Crawford because there's levels. See, now to Conor Benn's defense, he also stated he has no interest in Chris Eubanks' trilogy at 160 because his body simply can't do it. Now, there's a lot of people that feel like, oh, now you got away with one. You got away with one, right? And now you like, listen, I ain't going to test the waters again. And he did say, I'm going to stop Chris Eubanks. And Chris Eubanks looked shot. He looked from the very first round. Nonetheless, not taking anything away from Conor Benn. He understands that there's levels. Because the opportunity to fight Terence Crawford at 160, you say no to because he knows there's levels. Because guess what? He's looking to fight for the WBC title. And Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios just announced they're fighting February 21st. It looks like in Las Vegas, right? For the WBC title. They just signed for Mario Barrios' title. So you got to wait. To this Saturday, in 48 hours, you're going to have Devin Haney versus Brian Norman for the WBO, which means you got to wait. Also, looks like Rolly Romero could be fighting Manny Pacquiao for the WBA title. You're going to have to wait. Now, he could fight Crocker for the IBF title, which makes sense because he's out the UK, British fighter. It makes sense, right? But he understands there's levels. He understands there's levels because there's money in fighting Terence Crawford. He ain't trying to get that money. He ain't trying to get that L because he knows there's levels. So he's trying to use the size, right? Because you got to take into consideration, Terence Crawford is smaller than Chris Eubanks Jr. He's 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. And one fight at 168, never fought at 160. You fought twice at 160. He had one fight at 168. Terence Crawford, nobody's confusing Terence Crawford with being a super middleweight or a middleweight. So all he is Conor Benn all over again. And it's a big opportunity. But Conor Benn knows there's levels. And Terence Crawford is willing to go to the UK. Conor Benn knows there's levels. But that's all I got for y'all, man. It ain't like he's the biggest guy when you like, nah, it's David Benavidez. It's too big. Like when Terence Crawford beat Canelo Alvarez and then people start saying he needs to fight David Benavidez, you can understand Terence Crawford like, bro, he's too big. But that makes no sense. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. And I love Conor Benn, man. Shout out to Conor Benn. Congratulations. And I want to see him drop down to 47. But he know there's levels. That's why he ain't taking this Terence Crawford fight. That's all I got for y'all. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.